Hi everyone, so here is my final blog post, The End to Genius Hour, my TED Talk on what my Genius Hour was all about. So when I first heard about Genius Hour and students using it, I thought it was such a great idea. How cool that students could explore something outside of the realms of curriculum. How cool that they could explore a new skill and learn something brand new, something that was of interest to them. But then I heard we would have to be participating in Genius Hour to get a feel for how it actually was. And I thought, you have to be kidding me. Where will I find a time to learn a new skill? What will I even do? Will I even like doing this skill? These were all the questions I had, and I was actually pretty nervous starting this process. So for my Genius Hour, I chose to learn how to crochet a scarf. And the reason I chose crocheting is because it's always been a skill that I've wanted to learn. I think the final products of crocheting are so cool and so beautiful, and I loved the idea of being able to make something that I could then in turn wear. And for anyone who knows me, you'll know that I am always cold, all the time. I'm the person who's always wearing multiple sweaters, multiple pairs of socks. I always have slippers on in the winter, and I have a drawer full of scarves that I go through and wear all throughout the winter. So I figured, why not make a scarf? Why not make something that I could then wear? Something that would keep me warm and something that was practical for cold Canadian winters. So in starting this process, I decided to do some research and learn what would be the easiest stitch to learn for anyone who's new to crocheting. And from my research, I found that the single stitch was the easiest crocheting pattern to learn for anyone who was new to this skill. So after that, I had to realize what were the materials that I would need to complete this activity. Well, I would definitely need some yarn, and I would definitely need a crochet hook. Now, what I found out from my research and through the advice of my sister, who also crochets, was that your hook size has to match your yarn size. And that is a huge step for anyone who's brand new to learning to crochet, because if they don't match, your final product is not going to work out. So I set off and went to Walmart for my first set of yarn and a crochet hook. And I bought yarn and I brought it back. Then I started to watch YouTube videos. I watched endless videos on how to do the crochet pattern and how to make it work. When I started watching these YouTube videos, I thought, man, this looks so easy. I can totally do this. In fact, I bet you this skill's not even gonna take me 5 weeks to learn. I'll be done this project in no time. Man, was I wrong. When I started actually trying to do the single crochet stitch, it was a disaster. My product looked awful. My lines were all over the place, my sides were all over the place, and then I got so discouraged. I thought, I'm never gonna be able to do this. I'm never gonna be able to learn how to crochet. I'm totally gonna fail at this project. I even went into our ICT class on that second week of starting this Genius Hour, and I said, I don't know if I'm gonna reach my goal. Do we lose marks if we don't reach our goal? I really was so discouraged. However, like any new skill that you're learning, you just have to stick through it. You just have to keep trying. And that's what I did with crocheting. I stuck to it. Now, what did help is I ditched the Walmart yarn and I went to Michael's craft store. For anyone who has never been to Michael's, it is a crocheter's paradise. There are endless supplies of yarn for you to buy. And what I soon realized was that the quality of your yarn really did make a difference. It really felt so much nicer to work with a 100% wool yarn than it did to work with an acrylic yarn that was what I originally bought at Walmart. So once I got this brand new yarn, I found that things started to get easier, that I was starting to get the pattern, and suddenly I really began to enjoy crocheting. When I finally finished my scarf and I had the final product in my hand, I felt amazing. I couldn't believe it. I was so discouraged in the beginning, but I kept going and I kept trying, and I finally was able to complete a finished scarf. I now have a scarf that I made. I didn't buy it, I made it, and that feels amazing. I'm really happy I pushed myself to learn how to crochet. I've actually even started my second project, and I'm trying to learn new crochet patterns, and I'm even trying to push myself to learn how to make a different product. Sure, maybe the sweater I'm wearing today wasn't one that I crocheted, but I now know that in the future, I could potentially make a sweater like this. And that's such a great feeling. I will definitely continue to crochet in the future, mostly because crocheting has become a huge form of relaxation for me. With the stress of schoolwork and the stress of teaching always looming over us, I'm so happy that I found a new form of relaxation, a new way to calm myself at the end of a busy school day and a busy work day. In conclusion, crocheting wasn't easy to learn. In fact, it was actually quite challenging at times. But I'm really happy that I pushed myself to learn this new skill, because the sense of pride that I feel in the end in knowing that I made a final product and I reached my goal, that's super satisfying. And I think that would be a great feeling to be able to spread to our own students one day. So I would definitely recommend using Genius Hour in the classroom.